As the humid mist of the Mactan dawn began to lift, the chieftain Lapu Lapu stood immovable upon the jagged limestone cliffs, his weathered eyes locking onto the alien silhouettes of the Spanish galleons that dared to breach the sanctity of his ancestral waters. He was not merely a warrior of bone and blood, but a Dotu woven from the very fabric of the island. A leader who refused to bow to the cross or the crown of a distant king he had never seen, choosing instead the sharp edge of his campion as his only diplomat. Whispers traveled through the coconut groves like a fever, claiming that the foreign explorer, Ferdinand Magellan, commanded thunder in his hands. But Lapu Lapu knew with the wisdom of the tides that steel and flesh bleed the same red blood regardless of the gods one prays to. When the ultimatum arrived, demanding submission to the Spanish crown, the chieftain laughed, a sound like cracking thunder that echoed across the water, and sent back a message wrapped in the defiance of a free man. We have lances of bamboo and stakes hardened in fire. The tides of Mactan were treacherous and shallow, a natural fortress that Lapu Lapu knew would strip the invaders of their heavy armor's advantage, forcing them to wade through the surf-like clumsy metal crabs into a tactical trap of his careful making. As the Spanish boats grounded far from shore, 49 armored Europeans waded into the water, unaware that they were walking not into a disorganized skirmish, but into a synchronized storm of 1,500 painted warriors screaming for the spirits of their forefathers. The air turned thick with the acrid smoke of muskets, but the bullets whistled harmlessly through the shield walls of the Visayans who moved with the fluidity of the ocean, striking the unprotected legs of the invaders with ruthless precision and the knowledge of the terrain. Lapu Lapu, distinguished not by youth but by the terrifying aura of command, directed his men to target the captains, knowing that if the head of the snake were crushed, the metal body would thrash and die in the salt water, leaving the invasion force leaderless and panicked. Magellan fought with desperation, his helmet knocked away by the sheer ferocity of the assault, but as he turned to cover his retreating men, a bamboo spear found its mark, and the great circumnavigator fell face down into the surf of an island he sought to conquer. The victory was absolute. The white gods were mortal, their armor was eggshell against the fury of a people defending their home, and the shores of Mactan had been sanctified by the blood of those who dared to demand tribute from free men. Legend says Lapu Lapu did not die, but turned into a stone, or perhaps a giant fish, guarding the straits forever, a myth born from the fact that he simply vanished into the mists of history, unconquered and unbowed by the returning tides of colonization. He refused to trade with the returning Spaniards, retreating into the mountains of Borneo, or perhaps the interior of the islands, leaving behind a legacy that would sleep for 300 years before awakening, in the hearts of new heroes who would remember his name. In a history written by the victors, he was the anomaly, the native chief who won a testament that the Philippines was never a land of savages, but a civilization of warriors, gold and intricate laws long before the cross arrived on these shores. His name became a whisper of resistance, a talisman against fear, proving that a bamboo spear wielded with the conviction of freedom is stronger than the finest steel forged in the fires of Toledo or the armories of Europe. Today, Lapu Lapu stands in bronze and stone, watching over the islands, the first hero who taught us that the only proper response to tyranny is to stand one's ground and fight until the tide runs red with the blood of the oppressor.